I never thought I'd see the day when my marriage would crumble, not because I lacked love for my wife, but because she decided she wanted something else. I discovered it slowly, through small lies, late nights, and the growing distance that had once been unimaginable. At first, I convinced myself it was temporary. She was stressed, overworked, unhappy, but I thought we could fix it together. Then came the confession. One evening, over a cup of cold coffee, she looked me straight in the eye and said, "I need to be free. I can't do this marriage anymore. I'm sorry, but I have to find myself." The words were simple, but they hit like a sledgehammer. I felt the floor collapse beneath me. I asked her to explain, to tell me why, to tell me if it was someone else. She hesitated, then whispered the truth. She had fallen for another man, a co-worker, someone she had grown close to over months I didn't even know existed. I stayed calm, though inside my world was burning. I asked questions she couldn't answer, pleaded with her to reconsider, to remember our life together. But she had made up her mind. She wanted freedom. My pleas, my tears, my promises, they meant nothing. Divorce papers were signed, the house split, possessions divided. She left with a triumphant air, almost like she had won something. I stayed behind, empty-handed in our apartment, the echoes of laughter, love, and shared dreams lingering like ghosts. For a moment, I allowed myself to sink into despair. I replayed our years together, questioning everything. Could I have been a better husband? Did I fail to notice the cracks? But the truth was clear. Her choice wasn't about me. It was about her desire to escape. For months, I stayed quiet, letting her enjoy her freedom. She posted pictures, shared updates, flaunted the happiness she claimed to have found. But I didn't retaliate, didn't argue, didn't try to interfere. I knew something she couldn't see. Freedom without responsibility is fragile, and happiness built on betrayal is unstable. I focused on myself. Slowly, I rebuilt my life. I found a new apartment downtown, surrounded myself with friends who truly cared, and threw myself into my work. At first, the nights were lonely. I went to bed without her, ate dinner alone, and watched the spaces where she used to be. But I didn't let loneliness defeat me. I exercised, read, traveled, even took a short course in photography I had always wanted to try. My life became about me, my choices, and my happiness, not hers. Then, one ordinary Saturday, I met her again. Not by accident, but in a cafe she frequented. She walked in, smiling, confident, glowing in the way she used to when she wanted to impress me. But this time, I didn't flinch. I didn't falter. She saw me, and for a split second, I saw surprise, maybe even regret flicker across her face. I didn't greet her. I didn't acknowledge her presence. I simply continued my coffee, reading, smiling to myself as if nothing had changed. And in that moment, I realized the power of moving on. She had left me thinking she had won. But winning at someone else's expense rarely feels like victory for long. Weeks passed. Slowly, I noticed subtle things. Mutual friends whispered, carefully hinting at her struggles. Her new relationship wasn't as perfect as she had painted. She missed deadlines at work because of constant arguments. Her social media posts more curated than authentic. She called me once, asking to meet, almost as a test, almost as a way to see if the old magic still lingered. I declined politely, leaving no room for manipulation. My response was simple. I hope you find the happiness you're looking for, but my life is full, and I'm moving forward. Her messages became more frequent, less confident, more desperate. She tried to draw me in with nostalgia, with memories of trips, dinners, late-night talks, and quiet mornings. She tried to remind me of the life she abandoned, as if that would make me reconsider. But my life had changed. I had learned that love without respect is worthless, and respect without boundaries is dangerous. I had boundaries now, and she had shattered them herself. Months later, I met someone new. She was kind, intelligent, and grounded. We didn't rush. We took our time, laughed together, shared dreams carefully. It wasn't about replacing the past. It was about building a future. And when she entered my life, my ex-wife's world shifted. Suddenly, the empty apartment she had envied, the quiet life she had mocked, was now full of warmth, laughter, and love that wasn't tainted by betrayal. It was then I realized the irony. She had chosen freedom over loyalty, excitement over stability, selfishness over love. And now she watched as I thrived, surrounded by friends, loved by someone who truly appreciated me. She had wanted to escape, but in doing so, she left herself behind. She had given me the greatest gift anyone could give, a reason to move on and prove that life is richer when it's chosen wisely. She reached out again one day, finally admitting regret. "I made a mistake," she wrote. "I thought I wanted freedom, but I see now I lost the best thing I ever had. Can we talk?" I read the message, a small smile tugging at my lips. For a moment I felt the old ache, the sting of betrayal, the memory of her departure. But it was fleeting. I typed a simple response. "I wish you well. My life is moving forward, and I am happy. I hope you can find your own path too." And I deleted her message. Not out of malice, but because I had nothing left to owe her. I didn't need to justify, explain, or revisit the pain she caused. My life was full. My heart was strong. My soul was free. Weeks later, I ran into her at a mutual friend's party. She looked at me, eyes wide, a mixture of shame and longing. But I smiled genuinely, shook hands, and introduced my partner to her. She realized then what she had lost. Not just me, but the life we had built together, and the man I had become in her absence. The lesson was clear. People choose what they want, and sometimes they choose wrongly. But life rewards those who honor themselves, respect their own growth, and refuse to be defined by betrayal. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't bitter. I was unstoppable. And as I watched her walk away that night, her shoulders slumped, her eyes avoiding mine, I felt no triumph in her regret, only peace. I had turned heartbreak into a new beginning. I had taken a life that was nearly stolen from me and rebuilt it stronger, brighter, and happier than it had ever been. Sometimes the people who abandon you believe they hold all the power. But power isn't taken, it's claimed. And I claimed mine fully, without revenge, without drama, and without her ever getting the satisfaction of seeing me broken. My wife chose freedom. She chased excitement, independence, and a life outside our marriage. I chose me. I chose growth. I chose love that is mutual and respect that is earned. And in doing so, I created a life she could never take away, a happiness she could never mimic, and a strength she could never understand. Because sometimes, the most powerful response to betrayal isn't anger or confrontation. It's thriving. It's moving forward, embracing life, and leaving those who hurt you to watch as you rise higher than they ever imagined. She had freedom, yes. But I had something infinitely greater, myself, rebuilt, unbroken, and unstoppable.